Hey, what's up guys? So on this video, what I'm going to be talking about is the best email marketing trends for 2018. So as you might know, email compilation comes from visitors coming to your website and them going through a bundling process. So I have very heavily emphasized that you data mine whenever you're getting individuals who are visiting your website, despite the fact that they're not opting in. You're still collecting data in order to follow up with them, and that's where sequences of emails come in, and the process of strategizing email campaigns in order to get the best possible conversions. So I'm going to be talking over that on this video, and hopefully you'll pick up some valuable knowledge along the way. So let's get started. Okay. Let's make this smaller. All right. So what I'm using is a company called Insights. Smart Insights. That's the name of the company. So I want to start off with this. So you'll see that from all the forms of digital marketing, email marketing is considered the most effectiveness to yield the highest conversion for the effort when compared to the other ones. As you can see here, email marketing, social media marketing, SEO, social PPC, content marketing, so on and so on. So email marketing is very important, especially if you are in the process of perhaps developing a model or strategizing how you can tackle the process. So on this video, this is what I will be talking about. Content 1 through 10. So you can see increased regulation, email rendering, device friendliness, intelligent personalization, sophisticated segmentation, subject line effectiveness, writing for emails, deliverability, code like it's 2018, and marketing automation. So I will start by giving some 4 words in regards to some of the things that you should know. So as I said, email marketing is extremely important, and thank you to these guys who actually wrote or who compiled this ebook together. So trending number 1, when you might mine a lot of emails, you might be sending people lots of emails on your campaign. So people are actually getting annoyed, which I thought it was kind of interesting. So there has been a little bit of, well, not a little bit, I'm not entirely sure how much, but there has been increase in regulations regarding consent to receive any particular offer for a product. So you will see that they're really emphasizing that you display the fact that you're protecting the data on your website. So if you don't have that currently on your website, you're open to the possibility that perhaps or your organization is vulnerable to potentially, taking a hit from the public or, personally, unless if you have your, property under an entity like an LLC, of course, then, it could still happen. So you never know. But that's what they're emphasizing. So you'll see that here on trend number 2, what they are talking about is the fact that a lot of users on the internet, they are using different forms of visiting your content. So there's desktop, mobile clients, webmail. If you're emailing people, there's a template and there's a way of how people are viewing your content. So it's important that you're aware that all your content is compatible for all mediums in which people could be using to view your content. So you'll see here that they are really emphasizing the fact that you should avoid, if you're using email marketing, if the first thing that people see as soon as they open the email is this on the left, you will see that people are not really seeing the meat of what is available as far as the potential benefits of your product versus over here, you can see that it's very clearly aligned. So they call that the hamburger menu, which in essence is just visually being able to see the content of the website instead of this one, which doesn't really show any content. So if you are sending email marketing campaigns, please remember this, the hamburger menu concept. You'll see here that they are conveying how if a website was being viewed on a mobile device, how they are being organized in a fashion to where it's very easily displayed and can be easily viewed by simply clicking on a down arrow. You'll see here how some websites are actually letting their users know in regards to updates on regulations and terms on their websites. But that's not really relevant so much in this video. Okay, so trend number 3, device friendliness. As I said before, make sure that your websites are mobile friendly whenever you're sending emails to people and they're clicking on your links. If it's not, then you're obviously making a mistake there. Okay, so intelligent personalization. So what this means is that a technique that is being applied more nowadays is that, let's say that you visit a website and you were at the point in which you were almost about to purchase something and you left it on the cart, and let's say you changed your mind, so you left the website. So intelligent personalization means that through an automated fashion, if the user did in fact provide you with their email on your landing page, then your website would kind of, in essence, give them a notification next time that they're on your website. So it's important that you try to emulate that same concept on your website to give notifications to people. Notifications is extremely important. I feel that notifications are more important than emails due to the fact that you're not being overwhelming by broadcasting campaigns of emails, and people can easily see that if they were to visit your website. So very important that you catch people's attention by something so simple as a notification. So here they want to talk about product recommendations based on what your website is capturing from your users. And on that basis, for example, you can make predictions as to what activity your user has been on the internet. So you can pick up upon that on your website, and you'll see here that in the situation that if somebody was visiting your website, the website would take where they left off and email them to kind of remind them to come back on the website. So that's what that is, so just so you know. So what that's called, it's email content automation, and I want to show you this bigger so you'll see it easier. So you'll see that it says Matt receives an email containing the products he's previously browsed on the website. So this is the same concept basically of what I'm trying to get across, and this is what they call email content automation, which in essence just means sending them an email where they left off. Okay, so you get the point. Okay, so trend number 5, sophisticated segmentation. What does that mean? Okay, so let's go over that right now. Oops. Alright, so email segmentation, what it means is that there are groups. If you are collecting information and if you are mining information on your landing page, usually you will ask them, or you ask people for their email, their name, or their phone number if you were in fact collecting that sort of information. that would allow you to strategize specific campaigns on the fact that you have various types of demographics or micro data to use in order to help you segment possible strategies that you could implement. So it ultimately depends on what kind of data you have mined through your landing page. And they're saying that if you are getting a specific demographics, that your process of how you're outreaching to that specific demographics. So for example, let's say, I don't know, only 20-year-olds, you're sending a specific emails for those visitors on your website that have willingly subscribed to your newsletter or whatever it might be on your website. So that's basically what it is. Alright, so number 6, trend number 6, subject line effectiveness. So, you know, if you're sending an email, the subject line, super important, as you can imagine. In fact, I think I read here that it says on here, see, about 50% of the subject line is just as important as the content itself. If people see the subject line and they don't like what they see, they're just probably going to ignore your subject line. So you'll see here that they want to always emphasize something that gets people to take action, and also they, as marketing is growing further into the future, they want to condense as much information as possible to get people's attention, and also the usage of emojis like you see here are being implemented. Words, call to action words are very important on your headings. Okay. You'll see here that in order to kind of test out variations of headlines, it ultimately comes down, for example, if you were to compile 10 different headlines and you were to test each one individually, you could determine which one was opened the most, which one was clicked the most on the basis of variations of what you're using for your, your heading. So for that, you could think about that. So here they did kind of like a little funneling process. Typically what happens with an email marketing campaign. So you'll see here, if you're broadcasting your email campaigns, people can open the email, and if they don't like what they see, they can just ignore or delete or mark it as a spam or do whatever, or perhaps they might visit your website. And if they do visit your website, they're in fact clicking on the website. Once they're there, you might offer them a landing page or whatever page you might have. If they say no, they could just leave. And if they do, decide to participate, then of course your sequencing process, depending upon your funneling process, will kick in from there. Alright, so trend number 7, writing for emails. And this one specifically focuses on the fact that you have to change your approach. So, you can either take the approach of being brand centric, or you can take the approach of being customer centric. So let me show you some examples of what they mean. So they say here, a good way to determine whether your copy is brand centric or customer centric is to calculate the ratio of these words that they have here. So our, we, us, etc. against us, your. The below email from tails.com is a lovely example of a customer-centric copy with 6:2 ratio of being customer-centric. In other words, 75% customer-centric. So you'll see here how they're showing you an example, and they're emphasizing the fact that your message should be heavily customer-centric, and that you assure that you use the correct combinations of words to get the highest possible combinations of conversions to your product, or to get people on your website, of course. So as part of one of the case studies here on this ebook, they're saying that the ecosystem of how digital marketing is being developed was actually transitioning from having multiple personalities who represent the brand, and instead it's gearing more towards having a persona, so an individual who actually represents the brand, and for you to develop that individual over a matter of time. So that's what they're saying here. So you'll see here as an example how they use this particular girl in multiple ways. So apparently it's becoming a thing. So on this one you will see that alright, so on this one what they're saying is that if you have a website and you have an app, you want to make both of those mediums actually connect and to speak with each other. So here they're saying that, for example, if somebody were to book a reservation on the website, and if they had the app for Airbnb, then they would transition from being an online experience to an app booking experience. So to always have those two features developed, that's the essence of what they're trying to get across. Alright, so the next one is deliverability. So what that means is that if you have mined a list of emails, and there's a possibility that someone could have easily put a fake email. So a lot of the times a common strategy used is known as reconsenting, which in essence just means broadcasting to your list and asking people, for example, to take a survey to give you a realistic impression of how many real people who are really looking at your content do you really have. So you will see that it's called reconfirming method for email campaigns. So more than anything, it just basically means that you're reaching out to people with like a survey or whatever, or perhaps they're clicking on your link, and that's how you could get a realistic perception of how many people do you really have, and to help you determine whether if your emails are in fact being reached. Alright, so on here they're saying code like it's 2008. So what they're trying to say here is that make it very lightweight as far as your web developing. So instead of relying on conventional videos, try to use CSS grids and use animation on your web developing in order to enhance the user experience and also to increase how fast your website loads. So you'll see here that they use CSS animation in order to improve the overall user experience. And you'll see here some examples of how CSS has been used to give the impression that it's a video on the website, but it's not. But ultimately, it's meant to improve the speed and for things to load faster for your user. Alright, so I forgot to mention here segmentation. So I did mention demographics in order to help you break down your data, but you can also break it down on the basis of their behavior. For example, what do they do while they're on your website? Perhaps if they provide you with information to determine like lifestyle on the basis of like socioeconomics. And sometimes I've seen people ask, like, for example, how much money do you make, in order to help determine that kind of information, but that's not really important. I just kind of want to mention it on here. Alright, so the next one, marketing automation. So for marketing automation, it comes down to the fact that whenever a user visits a website and they go to your content, they're dragging along things that they have visited previously. So you can actually recognize those things and determine patterns in order to help give suggestions to your users. So you could actually live email users as soon as they leave your website, if you have their information, of course, like their email. So here, this particular company, Avari, is actually the perfect example of what this is, marketing automation. So it comes down, like you see here, the user feeds the user data information from your browser. The website would use that on your website and to help you predict similar content, and for you to use that content to email them. So the purpose of that is to kind of streamline what they're living at that specific moment, and for you to suggest products that relate to your personal product. So the essence of marketing automation stems from collecting, mining information and behavior of users on the website in order to help you determine specific patterns. So the next thing here is that in the situation, if someone were ever to purchase something, you would want to send them a personal letter. So for example, here you'll see that instead of making it like it's a big company, they made it seem like it was very personalized. So it's a very nice touch as far as how to get the point across and to come off very personal, and for people to actually feel more comfortable with you. Alright, so here Avari, you'll see they say that they inject pre-dynamic content into email in real time with robust reliability and speed. So on the basis of what your users are previously visiting before they enter your website, you can use that information in order to align with what you have and to contact people sooner if you have in fact proven that your users are on that track of having interest for those particular content. So what that means is that you don't have to do like a process trial, like an after and before campaign where you see specific patterns. If you have already developed, like I mentioned before, like 10 headlines to test it out to see its effectiveness, you could do that, and you could determine immediately, for example, by using something like Avari to see what your users are very interested on, and for you to kind of target your email campaigns on that basis. Alright guys, so I want to wrap up the video by letting you know about Constant Contact. I have nothing to do with the website. I just think that it's a great service. So more than anything, try to find a similar website like Constant Contact. And if you want to know what they are, I would really recommend that you check them out. So for your email campaigns, you'll see how you can really personalize your emails. So more than anything, this whole PDF talks about really good tips. More than anything, personalizing your email, getting your point across, showing them the meat of your email, not wasting people's times, and just make it very easy to use and come off as someone who is personal, like you're talking to them on a personal level. So check it out, and definitely check out this website, smartinsights.com, and you can download this PDF for yourself. So I just kind of wanted to touch upon some of the things that they have here, and let's see. And yeah, so remember, these are the 10 trends in which they are focusing on. Alright, so remember, data mine, taking actions, sequences that follow in the funneling process strategy that you created on the basis of whichever data you have available and acquire from your landing page and the sequential pages that follow. Alright, thank you so much guys.